Okay, we're at the beginning of a year, and it is imperative that we start, if we start right, we end right, okay? So this is where we are, this is what we're gonna have, this is what we're doing. I'm gonna talk to you about a paradigm goal setting process, okay? Paradigm goal setting. See, getting what you want will always begin with the same two disruptive realizations, and then it requires one step, and all three things are to be disruptive. When I say disruptive, I mean change. It has to upset the norm, okay? The two realizations, number one is, where do you want to be? What do you want and where do you want to be? You gotta do some disruptive thinking. This should be something that is out of your normal reach, okay? You gotta think beyond what's comfortable for you. So you gotta realize what it is you want, and it should never be for yourself alone. Because God does give through us, not to us. So when you start talking about where it is you want to be, what it is you want, the Cadillac CTS is just not the thing, okay? Whatever you're aiming for should be big enough to disrupt your belief system. We all have a belief system. We all know we can do certain things. And generally, we try and set goals that are comfortable for us, okay? That's within our belief system. Oh, I can do that. Well, go beyond that. That's what I mean when I say disruptive. You gotta go beyond that. Whatever we get or do should serve also a greater purpose than just for you. See, each one of us have influence. We can influence people to do good, we can influence people to do bad. So we gotta understand whatever it is we want, whatever it is we're gonna do, has to go beyond just us. It's like I was telling one brother tonight, we're not here for our children. We don't know how long our children will be with us. So what happens when they come? Okay? We have to go beyond our household, beyond our tribe, beyond our lodge. We gotta look beyond that. So we all have influence, and we all are interdependent creatures. So everything you do will be seen and used by others as fuel for their fire. There's a person in here watching you, and when you do AB, they say, hey, I can do CD. Okay? If you think about it, one person buys a car, but then the mechanic is waiting for you to break it. Okay? The insurance man is waiting for you to buy it so he can sell you insurance. We all are interdependent creatures. So from this day forward, you want to ignore and get rid of this me, myself, and I stuff. There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire. You can't do it by yourself. Okay? So, reaching your goal has to serve a greater purpose than your household. So the question is, does your goal benefit those watching or the world? I ask each one of you, where do you want to be in 5 years? Does that goal benefit you, or does it benefit your community or the world? Because when you close your eyes and go in that casket, what is going to be said about you? What's your legacy? What are you leaving behind? Now, I said this is paradigm goal setting. Realization number 2. You got to decide where you want to go and what it is you want to do, and what's the next thing you got to figure out. Where you're starting from. That's the point. What do you have and where you're starting from? This requires total honesty. You can't lie to yourself. If you're going to attack your belief system, if I'm going to change what I believe for the betterment, I got to be honest with me. You got to be honest with you. Now you can, the way the phrase goes is how you do anything is how you do everything. If you're dishonest with your abilities, your capabilities, and so forth, then you're going to be dishonest with everything. So the realization number 2 is where we start from, and that requires total honesty. You cannot fool your paradigm. You cannot fool your belief system. Positive statements will not change your belief system. Okay? You have to change, alter, or replace what you think and or have thought about you and your capabilities. You got to change what you think about yourself. You got to make some adjustments. This is serious business here because this affects those of you that have children. It has an effect. Those of you in this room, you have an effect on each other. Again, how you do anything is how you do everything. Every brother in here is waiting for you to step up and do what you're supposed to do so they can do what they're supposed to do. You with me? You have to be willing to learn and increase your level of incompetence. Let me say that again. You got to be willing to learn and increase your level of incompetence. In business, there is something called a level of incompetence. That means you can only rise to a certain level. You don't have the ability to go any higher. Okay? When you start dealing with the paradigm, your belief system, you can change that. You can increase that. You with me? That's where the work comes. That's where the work starts. The real work. Some of you have been athletes, okay? You know you reach that pit and it seems like you can't go past that. You gotta go past it. Your level of incompetence is the most you can do with knowledge and abilities that you presently have. Okay? That's why I say you have to learn and be willing to learn to increase it. So the one thing that is required to go along with, to capitalize on these 2 realizations is a decision. I am big on decisions. Men make decisions. Men don't lie. Okay? If you lie to me, you lie about everything. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you cheat on your wife, why wouldn't you cheat on me? Hello?
Yeah.
How you do anything is how you do everything. Oh yeah, we talking about walking straight now. I ain't trying to make you an choir boy, but you gotta get that belief system down pat. So you gotta make solid decisions. Solid decisions can only be made with the help and the aid of God. So I'm gonna tell you this, in order to make a solid decision, prayer is necessary. You gotta pray. Now, to be a Mason, you should be a member of a church and you should attend sometimes. We're not gonna tell you have to be there every time the door opens. But how are you gonna get to know the word and know truth if you're not exposed to it? Certainly 102 is not gonna give it to you. 97.5 or 9 or whatever the case may be. Okay, Beyonce ain't gonna give it to you and Jay-Z ain't gonna give it to you. So the bottom line is you gotta expose yourself to truth if you're gonna learn how to make solid decisions. A man will make a decision and then he'll turn around and make that decision right. How does he make his decisions right? That's a question. He go to work.
Taking action.
Okay? Because if you're working, you can always be directed. You follow me? Even if it appears to be the wrong decision. The 16th chapter of Proverbs tells us a great truth, that we are not sufficient of ourselves to think or speak anything of ourselves that is wise and good, but all our sufficiency is of God. That is the only place you're going to really get the truth. Now, trust me, my job as Grandmaster is to do threefold. Number one, I should never lie to you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. Number one. Number two, I'm going to always try and keep an environment that is conducive to your growth. In other words, I want to create an environment that allows you to get where you want to be. Number three, I'm always carry myself as a Grandmaster. I don't ever want you to be ashamed to say, I'm your Grandmaster. Ellis don't ever want you to be ashamed to say he's your Wishful Master, or Tony Johnson, or whomever, okay? That's the way we got to live our lives, brothers, okay? You with me? All right. So, man or we have freedom of thought and freedom of will. We can decide whatever we want, and we can lay out our plans, and everything is God ordained or God allowed. So whatever plans you make, the universe, the world, and God say, yeah, that's fine, no problem. And then the test comes. Did you really mean that? Let's see if you really meant that. Okay? Have you ever been to the point where you said, man, I just can't go no more, I can't do that? Huh?
Yeah.
So now what we're saying is, you got to back up on those decisions before you got to make a solid decision. Okay? Ordination is given when our plans serve a godly purpose. Ordination is what we should want. In other words, God orders or allows. We want him to order. Okay? We want him to order our steps. You with? Okay? So prayer is necessary. Nothing just happens, and there's no such thing as lucky breaks. All life exists by the will and the counsel of God. Understand that? Accept that? Put that in your itinerary, in your computer, and start asking for direction. Okay? Now, the reason I'm saying all of this is because Proverbs 16:33 says, the lot is cast into the lap, but it's every decision is from the Lord. So that means I can decide what I want to decide, but it's up to God. Come on now, am I right or wrong? Jeremiah 3:33 and 3 says, call to me and I will answer you, and I will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. How do you change your belief system? How do you get past what it is you think you're capable of? You gotta have that spiritual insight. That's what it's all about. What you're sitting in was a thought that was beyond my capabilities before last year. You with me? I have goals, I have objectives, I have the plans, and yet they're in my lap. And collectively, we can draw the blessings of deity on those plans. And when we do, everybody benefits. Now, you might not even understand how you're going to benefit from being a Mason or being a part of Mount Tabor. But just focus, okay? Focus on having some peace in your life. Focus on having power to get things done. Focus on having some prosperity in your life. Don't worry about where it's coming from or how you're going to get it. Okay? Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. We're all on the good side of God right about now, I think. If not, we can change that. We got a preacher in the house, so he can lay hands on you. 3 times we Masons, okay? So here's all I'm saying to you, fellas. I asked for a 2-year commitment. Make a decision. No harm, no foul if you don't want to do it. But 2 years of work. Work will solve 80 to 90% of our problems. Okay? And whatever comes out of your mouth is what you do. Whatever you do came out of your mouth. That's what men do. Don't promise me nothing. Okay? Because as soon as you don't deliver, I'm going to back up from you. Any questions, any comments? Now you can check out in the next couple of days, I'm going to have a video on the paradigm to further explain what that is. But paradigm is our belief system, okay? I used to play tennis, yeah. And my thing was this: if I beat you in one game, I can beat you in a set. A set is 3 games. Let me beat you. I beat you one time, I got you. Because it gets in my spirit that I can take you. Okay? And that's the way we got to approach our life. We got to be willing to stretch beyond what we can do. Okay? So anyway, as I like to say, aim high, never quit, and expect to win. So this year is going to be magnanimous. It's going to be monumental for us. Let those that you live with know that there will be some adjustments. There's going to be attitudinal adjustments, character adjustments. You're going to carry yourself a little differently. You're going to start talking a little differently because you're going to have definite of purpose. Okay? We don't sugarcoat anything in Mount Tabor. And the reason being, you came expecting something. Okay? And if I give you fluff and sugar and pussyfoot around with you, it don't happen, then you're looking at me funny. Okay? So, set your goals, write them down. If it's a house, get on the internet, go look at houses. Get you a picture of a house. If it's a certain car, that's fine. If it's get your bank statement, write down if you want $10,000, $15,000 in the bank, unallocated, put it down, okay? Put it down where you can see it. Set the goal, make the decision. If you look on the YouTube channel, January 12th, 2018, there's a video called Abundant Life, Love, and Happiness I made. It gives you the information to change your paradigm, your belief system. Okay? I had a guy tell me he never thought, he couldn't picture me not living on Alsace. He thought I'd die on Alsace. Okay? That's what he thought. I think we moved up quite a bit. More than twice the size. So you gotta make a decision. Okay? Thank you very much.